Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it seems that a lot of these big colleges and and notorious places are losing money, billions, in fact, hundreds of millions, because they are supporting Hamas and the attack of Israelis, and people are not liking that. People are not liking the fact that you want to go and to attack these people. So, without further ado, we're going to go over this. We have this here. Harvard loses another major donor over its dismissal failure to take an unequivocal stand against the barbaric murders of Israelis by Hamas. The Wexner Foundation became the latest donor to poll support from Harvard University over its response to Hamas' attack on Israel. The foundation's wealth is derived from L Brands, the former parent company of retailers Victoria's Secret and Bath & Body Works. The philanthropy chaired by Leslie Wexner and Abigail Wexner said in a letter to the Harvard Board of Overseers Monday that it was ending its financial and programmatic relationship with the university. The foundation supports up to 10 government and public service professionals from Israel each year to pursue a one-year degree from the Harvard Kennedy School. We are stunned and sickened at the dismal failure of Harvard's leadership to take a clear and unequivocal stand against the barbaric murders of innocent Israeli civilians by terrorists last Saturday. The fast Sabbath and a festival day, the foundation wrote in a letter signed by the Wexners, President Rabbi B. Elka Abhemsen, and Ranan Avidil, the Director General. Harvard President Claudine Gay, who took office in July, has struggled to please some critics who initially included former University President Larry Summers. Summers said he was outraged by Harvard's initial silence after more than 30 student groups issued a statement blaming the violence solely on Israel and not Hamas, which is designated a terrorist organization by the U.S. and the European Union. Yes, and again, I had a comment here that went down and pretty much said that, it was Israelis that attacked, and it was the people that, wanted to do everything and all that stuff, right? And I had to do a little bit of research, and then I had to go and correct this person because he said that, it was the Israelis that did the attack. Well, the one that he said that it was related to the JFK assassination, which didn't really have anything to do with the actual attack on Israel in general. And another thing as well, he went on to go on to say that, it wasn't until 1947 until Israel was even considered a independent state. And where it was under, I may believe, Great Britain rule before all that, and throughout their many centuries, even 1000 BC, was under control by many other empires at the time. So it wasn't until fairly recently that Israel even became an independent state, along with Palestine. So it wasn't just, a thing. According to Palestine as well, it was that Palestine didn't really become its own state or its own governance, essentially, until 1988. So that's even way more recent. So I don't know where we're going to get to how Israelis started the attack when Hamas was the ones that even began to do the attack in the first place. When Hamas went out and attacked these people, innocent civilians, and then they went out and kidnapped Israelis, and then they went to kill what's estimating now about 30 Americans, and even kidnap Americans. So I don't really want to side with the group of people that are actively attacking others. We have this here, that billionaires who have pumped millions into Ivy League schools back out over failure to condemn the Hamas terror attack on Israel. Harvard and UPenn face losing hundreds of millions in future endowments. Ivy League schools face a multi-million-dollar dip in funding after being blasted for failing to condemn Hamas terrorist attacks against Israel. Harvard and the University of Pennsylvania have been hit hardest by the backlash, with a host of alumni calling on the colleges to do better as some revoke their funding entirely. Billionaires Ken Griffin has called for Harvard to take a robust stance in defense of Israel and criticize students defending the Hamas attack. Former U.S. Ambassador John Hudson Jr. has strict support for UPenn after slamming their stance on the conflict between Israel and Palestine. The schools could lose a huge $487 million in funding over their stance based on current and prior donations by those speaking out against the colleges. Griffin pledged $300 million to Harvard this year alone, but contacted the head of the university board to complain about the lack of response of presidents calling gay. So even the people that were giving them $300 million may actually just back out from one of these universities because, well, they're applauding and agreeing to the actual murder and death of the Israelis. And again, I'm not going to go out and defend somebody that went out and go kill innocent civilians. If you want to go do something and do an attack or whatever, then by all means, go attack the people that are, go attack the military places or whatever. Don't go out and start killing and kidnapping random people and even honestly raping them because you feel like you've been a prison state, right? But everybody else has been considered these are terrorist places, even Egypt. So these people don't seem to be the greatest people on the planet. And we have, of course, college students, idiot people defending this. I wonder if there was one person in particular that is also that I know of is maybe defending the Hamas attack, which this person may be, I would say, related to currently in the marriage of a Israel person that seems to have his own people being slaughtered as he can see it. This may cause quite a bit of tensions in the actual relationship, but considering maybe if she supports this. Don't know if this person does or not, but it is an interesting thing to have because it has a lot of the far left divided in this. Israeli billionaire Aiden Ofer and his wife Beitia have stepped down from an executive board at Harvard after previously donating $20 million to the school. Forbes valued their worth at $20 billion among the world's 100 most wealthy people. Unfortunately, our faith in university leadership has been broken and we cannot in good faith continue to support Harvard and its committees, the couple said in a statement. Wow, that is huge. Like I said, they're losing hundreds to millions of dollars, and the students are gonna be the ones that are gonna be broken up with this. Unfortunately, our faith in university, it says, we denounce those who seek to place blame on the people of Israel for the atrocities committed by the terrorist organization Hamas. The backlash came after 34 Harvard student groups signed up to a letter that blamed Israel for Hamas massacre of Jewish people. So yeah. It doesn't seem that like these people are very happy and are taking action against this. We have this as well. Columbia University refuses to condemn professor who called Hamas attack awesome. Columbia University has refused to comment on the growing fear over a tenured professor who called Hamas terror attacks against Israel awesome as a petition calling for his ouster gained more than 45,000 signatures. Professor of Politics and History Joseph Massad was accused of condoning and supporting terrorism in a Change.org petition created by 23-year-old student Maya Platek. The teacher called Hamas attacks on Israel a stunning victory in an article he published on the electronic Infeda a day after the conflict ignited. Regardless of one's stance on the conflict, supporting and praising one of the worst acts of terrorism in history is never acceptable, the petition reads. We call on the Columbia University to hold Massad responsible for his comments and immediately remove him from the Columbia faculty. A letter of solidarity with Massad was issued in turn, condemning the petition against him and calling on Columbia President Nemek Shafik to unequivocally guarantee his physical safety and his academic freedom. I don't think you deserve that you get this freedom that you want because you outright calling this type of issue, right? You people have been wanting to do this for a while now. We have this, that the letter has been signed by over 600 people. Columbia has repeatedly declined to comment on the matter when contacted by the Post, but some professors, including well-known activist Cornel West, have weighed in. They can't have him removed now. I would need to see more of what he said, but everyone is entitled to their opinion, West said. But we also have to keep deep, genuine sympathy for innocent people being killed. The truth is bigger than both of us. I agree with that, but at the same time, you people have created this, and now this is the issue that we lay bare, right? So yeah, a lot of these kids signed this and are advocating for it, and now these people are not liking the consequences. We have this. New York City doctor Dana Diab is fired after celebrating the Hamas massacre of Israelis getting a taste of their own medicine at the Nova Music Festival near Gaza. So, yeah, this person supported it, liked it, and now she is fired because of it. This is reaches a weird area of freedom of speech and all that. But I am going to put this into here that we probably need to set a culture and a standard to how people should conduct themselves. Now, I understand that this is a gray area, and this is hard because freedom of speech is very valuable, and we cannot just fire people just due to their opinions or what have you. And especially, calling for the death of people or what have you and whatever. However, these same people would come out and try to ban and remove people's lives and have them fired for the same exact reasons that we would do. And now these people are facing the actual consequences of their actions. And this is the reason why they're also starting to understand that the freedom of speech is so huge. So I'm not going to feel bad for this person being fired, mostly because she would do the same thing to me for whatever job that I was at, or the same thing for any of you guys that will be watching now or watching my channel, that they would do the same thing to you to have your life removed for your beliefs or the way you believe. And or your ideologies and stuff like that, right? So they would do the same thing and have you sure that you would not be able to feed your family, etc. So I have sympathy for these people because they want the same thing in return. So, yeah, it's unfortunate that this is all happening, but also quite hilarious because these people are getting their just desserts, and I don't lose any bit of sympathy. And it seems that these very woke colleges are going to be having a huge funding problem probably in the near future, considering they're losing hundreds of millions, possibly even $1 billion, because they are not on the right side of history. They are celebrating and supporting death of innocent people, and none of America, especially even these donors, are not up for it. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.